All right, I wanted to go over my pickups for the first week of March here. And first up are these replacement parts from more tough games, like metal shielding from inside of N64 cartridges and the screws. I forget what console that I ordered these rubber feet for. Replacement doors for memory expansion and EXT port for Jungle Green and 64. This came broken, well, almost broken, because it was shipped inside of a padded envelope. But I was really after the expansion door anyway. And I also got this clear shell that I put my Infinite NES Lives repro board of Wonder Project J English into. And I was going to put a label on here, but then I like the clear look so much, I'm going to try and get a clear label, maybe with just line art or text only on it, and see how that looks. Especially when it's inserted into a Super Nintendo and you can't see the board at all. And but you know, Super NT here isn't as deep, and so you can still see the board sticking out. But I think that looks pretty good. Let's see. Oh yeah, plus more top games. Bought the I got the replacement NES door there as well. Next up, open source scan converter, OSSC, 1.5 with the audio mod board in there. I don't know if you could see it, but there's some of the wiring back there. And it came with this, came with DVI to HDMI cables and power supply and all that too. And even though it's the DVI version, I have audio because of that mod board. I did have to take a soldering iron to this because one of the audio channels was out. After I fixed that, the other one was out, so then I had to fix that too. And because since this wasn't the audio version, it originally wasn't designed to have anything but like an audio output for what was passed through the SCART. And but now I need an audio input for whatever I connect to any of the other connections here. So that's why I need this, because it doesn't actually function with composite or S-video. It's just for the audio inputs here. Let's see, then found a seller at the flea market who had huge stack of Wii U's. Most of them were locked out with pin codes or passwords or something. And he had one functional one on display. Oops, that was running Mario Kart 8. He was asking $100 for it, which isn't a bad deal. But I went through his stack and found this one. And this is a kiosk Wii U, which I already have a kiosk that's all broken up in my shed that is really for spare parts and stuff in case I ever get to refurbish one. Well, now I'm one step closer, or maybe I'll end up selling all that and to someone who's looking for a console and other spare parts. We'll see. And but this one did not come with the tablet. Of course, the tablet was originally wired to it, and so I don't know if there's any way to get it to work with a retail tablet. It's in rough shape. Who knows what it's been through. He said he got it from an auction in Texas. And then I made another video about these. They are leads from a Brinkmann Spotlight Maximilian 3. They happen to fit a 7800, Atari 7800 Pro system. So Sean from Atari Age found a seller selling them for $5 each. And I contacted the seller and said, I just need the leads. If you can cut them off and recycle the brick part, that's fine. He was actually threatening to recycle all 2,000 of them within one day, because he said he was only going to list them for a week before they go to recycling. And that was when we discovered them and put a stop to that, let him know that, hey, these are very much needed, especially because people thought that these were proprietary and that you couldn't get your hands on the actual connector, which, I still can't find where you can order just the connector, but this is close enough. I got them for about $3.50 each by ordering 10. I know Console 5 ordered like 400 of them. They should be showing up there soon if they haven't already. And then Goodwill, it was $4 for 6 Sega Pico games. Don't think I had that one. Don't think I had Mickey's Blast Into the Past. But I definitely didn't have the manual for it because I didn't realize that they had any manual other than what was built into them. And I did not have Tales in the Music Maker. No, at least I don't remember that. I had like 3 Picos actually, so but even so, I don't recognize that one. I think I had Lion King. I know I had this one. I may have even already had a duplicate of the Richard Scarry, and which there might be a bunch of them, but I recognize the one with the bike on the front. Magic School Bus, and there's that Mickey Blast Into the Past one. Let's see. Now, got this at Goodwill, a $5 N64. It does work. Didn't come with any cables or controllers or anything. It's probably going to end up with Ultra HDMI eventually, since I've done like 23 of them this week. Mostly for people in a group buy, so not for myself. This I got from the same vendor as this Rampage 2 poster. which was apparently meant for a retail store. And it wasn't packaged with a game or anything. It's not folded up. This is just from where it was unevenly rolled up. So it'll probably flatten if I just curl it the other way first or store it differently. And but oddly, even though this was not a game vendor, she had a newsstand copy and this subscription copy. And the newsstand one had a Walmart sticker. I think it said $3.75 or something. But it did not have the Super Power Club trading cards on the back. I don't know if that's because somebody removed them or if the Walmart newsstand edition never had them. So I went for this one, understandably. Now, the Phantom Lapboard. I found a place called Bargain Hunt that has 3 of these, and I pre-ordered it back in the day. If you remember the Phantom game console that was considered a scam, like nothing was ever going to come of it, well, this is the only thing that ever came of it, was the Phantom Lapboard. It was supposed to be kind of like a cloud-connected PC-based game console in the living room, and from I guess a guy who's known for taking investors' money and running with it, or just running companies into the ground and never producing anything useful. And but when they announced that this was going for pre-order, I thought it was useful for any HTPC regardless. So I went ahead and pre-ordered it back in the day and never got it. Their website just folded, went down. They never renewed it. Actually, I remember having difficulty pre-ordering it. Like the page would crash or give me some error if I didn't change the date on my browser or something. And since they we're using expired security certificates or something. So it's like you couldn't pre-order it if you wanted to, unless you went through the same troubles that I did. You know, it's actually white in here, and the batteries are bursting. And I haven't actually unboxed it yet. Maybe I should, since I got the camera rolling. And let's see. It's hard to tell, but you can see that there is some leakage here. There's the mouse. This little bag opens at the bottom. Looks like the hole goes right through. And the mouse is supposed to stow away in here somewhere. Yeah, I guess I should have used the tripod if I was going to be unboxing anything. Oh, I see it extends a little bit under the foam there. And we do have like a little manual. The Phantom Lapboard. Phantom Entertainment Inc. No, they didn't do much entertaining during their lifetime. Let's see, where is the opening? Here we go. Alright, so cellophane on the outside. Sorry, I've got to use my phone hand and my hand. There's paper on the inside. I don't know how you, I guess it just lifts up. It's kind of spring-loaded a bit. It rotates a bit. I'm not sure where the mouse goes. I know it has an extendable mouse pad somewhere here. No, that's right. This entire bottom surface is your mouse pad, but this feels like a tab for pulling on something. But yeah, you'd have it in your lap. One hand on the mouse here, one hand on the keyboard here, so you can do your first-person shooters. And maybe it doesn't have storage for it, but I seem to remember like a mouse-shaped hole in the side that this would slide into in some old promo or concept shots or something. Sounds like it has detents, even though they don't feel very stiff. Like I can barely feel them, so I don't think it would actually hold it in place unless maybe there's a lock here somewhere that I'm missing. But even so, if there's anything more to this, I'll probably make another video about it. And I can even set it down here. All right, can't even figure out how to get it to close. So there is some kind of a lock, I believe. All right. And I guess that's it. And I'm not going to give a better view of this poster, but the seller did have a lot more of these rolled up, and I think she was asking $3 each, but I got some deal by getting it with the Nintendo Power magazine. And so if anybody else is looking for these, then maybe I can go back and grab some more. I'm not sure. Just add it to my collection because I have a Tetris Attack and Mega Man X7 and Beautiful Joe retail poster similar to that. Oh yeah, I think I mentioned that it's for lefties or righties. And it does have a battery door. Let's see. right there. I don't know if it shows up. And there's the wireless receiver dongle, which is pre-paired, and I almost broke it trying to get this back down. I even looked at the manual. There was no instructions. It looked like you could just pull or force and the tab down here, and it did not work out like that. Apparently this piece that I thought you pushed for something, that you pulled for something, you push. Let me see if I can do it right here. And that would drop it. So yeah, so now it's down. Of course, this is something that looks similar to it here, but I guess that's just to keep you from overrunning with your mouse in the mouse pad area. Yeah, so that's the Phantom Lapboard, which apparently I knew that it had been produced because some people had reviewed it even before I pre-ordered it, saying that, you know, despite the fact that they were claiming great range and resistance to interference, that range and interference seemed to be its biggest issues. And but I was already experiencing that with my other HTPC solutions and figured it couldn't be any worse since it was a bulleted feature for them. And so I guess eventually I'll get the chance to try it out, and if it impresses me, if there's anything important to share, I'll make a follow-up video. And here's a bit of a closer look at the Brinkmann flashlight leads and how they fit into an Atari 7800. I guess I wasn't quite done with the video, but I think I figured out what this protrusion is for. I think it's for holding the mouse in, even though clearly it doesn't work that way. Like maybe they resized the mouse during development or something. Because yeah, you can see even with the keyboard in place, it doesn't hold anything. But the way it's shaped, it's almost hook-like, and the mouse has a flare at the bottom that it almost seems like it's meant to hook into. And it just doesn't. Like maybe the tolerances were too tight for their manufacturing partner or something, and it didn't work out that well. But I also have something else. My brother went back to the flea market where we got the kiosk Wii U. Remember this guy? And found not the tablet, but a wired Wii remote. And this is not a game vendor. He just went to some Texas auction and got a bunch of game stuff, like all these broken Wiis that had this in the lot. And but what I don't understand here is why this isn't a Wii Motion Plus remote, since Wii U was only compatible with Wii Motion Plus, supposedly, at least officially. And if the kiosk used this, then it was using the wrong remote. And of course, it could have come from a regular Wii kiosk, but there's no sign that this vendor, who again is not a game vendor, has ever had any regular Wii stuff at all. And this big stack of Wii U stuff is supposed to be where it came from, but maybe whoever originally collected it all together before him is the one who came across these things and put them in their pile of non-working Wiis. And maybe they were a national game vendor or something like GameStop, or some store didn't know what they were doing and accepted this as a trade-in or something, and it ended up in a pile of broken ones from their depot repair and refurbishment center or something. And the other thing is, I've had this for a little while now, and it's an original Wii U remote, well, tablet gamepad, and of course this is a wireless one. And I've heard I've heard that if you get it really, really close, you can pair it with it wirelessly, which tells me that maybe all this does is move the antenna externally. So if I can connect an antenna, I may be able to pair a standard retail tablet with it and make it a functional Wii U kiosk again. And like maybe just mock up some cabling or something to tie it to the kiosk so that it's not, you know, ran off with, so it'll still be put up like a kiosk. Not that anybody's actually going to be putting it in a public place to promote stuff these days, since it's out of stores. So, but even so, I'm just one step closer to having it complete with this. And I guess I need to do a little research and find out if this is actually the right remote for it. And but even so, it's still a find. It was worth getting, since the guy didn't even apparently know what he had at first. All he knew is that there was something special about this one. And you know, as soon as he turned it around and showed me, I knew exactly what it was, even if he didn't. Well, I was a little late uploading this video, and eBay had such a good deal on Friday with 20% off pretty much everything, up to a maximum discount of $100, which is basically a $500 purchase with $100 off. So I went ahead and purchased a few things that had been in my watch list, including 12 junk Super Famicoms and a
another Neo Geo AES, and a really expensive printer part that I needed. And ultimately, I had to actually make 2 transactions across 2 accounts because of a credit card issue where they thought it was fraudulent when they see all these charges go to different sellers all at once. And but I did manage to get everything I needed here, and I'm happy.